Okay, so this is page 4 of the review for Unit 8. So let's go through and do these. Use synthetic substitution to find P of C for, oh, that's supposed to be for the given polynomial, P of X, and the given number C. Basically, that means we're just going to do -5, 1, 4, -8, -6, and we want whatever shows up here. That's P of C. Okay, so let's do this. Different color. 1, -5, -1, 5, -3, 15, 9. So this tells me P of -5 equals 9. That's your answer. Okay, so do the same thing. -1/2, 2, -3, 3, x term is skipped, 0, 1. Again, we want whatever shows up here as our answer. 2, -1, -4, 2, 5, and -1/2 times 5 is -5/2. Add going down, -5/2. We get a +5/4 times that. That gives us 1 5/4, or 2 1/4. Okay, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, or if you'd rather say that P of -1/2 is equal to 2.25, you can, or I will also accept it as 9/4. Don't give me 2 1/4 though. Alright, use the factor theorem to determine whether the binomial is a factor of the given polynomial. So this is the same concept. We use synthetic division. Now, use the constants 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Divide going down. If this right here equals 0, okay, if that equals 0, then it is a factor. So let's do this. 1, -2, 0, 0, 1, -2, 0, 0, 1, -2, 0. So yes, it's a factor. I'll write that out a little bit better. Yes, z plus 2 is a factor of P. I better, maybe legible should work. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Okay. Same thing. Okay, so negative square root of 2. 1, 1, 0, 0, 4, 4. Again, we're checking to see if this thing over there equals 0. Okay, so let's do that. Alright, so 1 negative root 2. 1 minus root 2. This gives me 2 minus root 2. 2 minus root 2. Not looking good. Alright, we got to go negative root 2 times that gives me negative 2 root 2 plus 2 coming down. Negative 2 root 2 plus 2. I gotta scoot some of this stuff over. Alright. Okay, multiplying by negative root 2. So I get positive 2 times 2, I get 4 minus 2 root 2. Adding going down, I get 8 minus 2 root 2. Multiplying by negative root 2, I get negative 8 root 2 plus 4. And again, that is not 0. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother figuring out what that is. It's not 0, so it is not a factor. Not a factor. Alright, so that answers that one. Okay, so again, we're looking to see if it's not 0 or it is 0. All I know is that right there is not equal to 0. Okay, solve for each equation for the given roots. Well, given the roots, solve each equation. So it tells me the root is -2. That means -2 will divide out of it evenly with a remainder of 0. And once I do that, okay, I should get something I can factor. 2, -4, 5, -10, -3, +6, 0. This tells me I have the expression x plus 2 times 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. And then I can factor this thing, 2x, x, 3, 1, +6, -1. And now I can solve each bit. X equals -2, which I knew. X equals 1/2, x equals -3, and those, actually I'll do it this way, and those are your answers. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Oh, 2 roots, so we're going to have to synthetic divide twice. Let's do 2, 2, -3, 0, no x squared term, 0, -3, -2. We divide going down, we get 2, or more, add going down, 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 1, 2, 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 1, 2, 0. We should get that. It's good. That just tells us that we're supposed to have x minus 2 times 2x to the third plus x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. Now I'm going to take the other thing, 1/2. Alright, and that tells me I'm going to have 2, 1, 2, 1 over, and let's divide this out. I get 2, I get -1, I get 0, I get 0, I get 2, I get -1, I get 0. Excellent. And so I'll come over here, and now I know that x minus 2 is a factor. Like they told us before, x plus 1/2 is a factor, and 2x squared plus 2 equals 0. Alright, that works for us. Alright, and so now I know that x equals 2, x equals -1/2. Now this last one tells me 2x squared plus 2 equals 0, or 2x squared equals -2, or x squared equals -1, or taking the square root, x is equal to positive or negative I. Okay, so again, those are our answers right here. 2, -1/2, and positive negative I. Okay, last 2 problems. Find a polynomial equation with integer coefficients that has the given numbers as roots. So here are roots: x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 3 equals 0. Difference of squares. And then we FOIL. First times first is x cubed. Outside is plus 3x squared. Inside is minus 4x. Last is minus 12 is equal to 0. And that's that one. Alright, and I'll do the same thing here. Remember, we want integer coefficients, so pay attention at the end. And x plus 2. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of, this equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by 2 just to make our life easier. And if I do the left side by 2, I can do the right side by 2. won't affect it, but I'm not going to distribute it in the first one. I'm going to distribute it here. It only gets distributed once, so I end up with x minus 1 times 2x plus 3 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. Remember, 0 times 2 is 0. Now our FOILing will be a little bit easier. So let's just go through this. Working with the first two. First times first. 2x squared. Outside is plus 3x. Inside is negative 2x. That's plus x. Last is minus 1 times x plus 2 equals 0. Okay? And now let's just go through this. Multiply 2x squared times x, 2x cubed. We'll do 2x squared times 2 is 4x squared. X times x is x squared, so 4x squared plus x squared is 5x squared. X terms. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. 2x and a negative x is positive x. Constants, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 equals 0. And there is your expression with integer coefficients. Now, if you don't do this little step right here, that's fine. You'll end up with divided by 2's in it, and so you can just multiply by 2 at the end instead of at the beginning. I just think it's easier to do at the beginning because it makes our FOILing a little bit easier, less fractions to deal with. Okay, so that's page 4 of your review for Unit 8, and I'll see you all in class this week.